Okay, good morning. Kind of. Today is October 7th. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, California time. I kind of got jolted this morning. This afternoon, well, I thought this evening how do I start this? I'm going to be talking to a bunch of quilters in Spain today. Hola, and I honestly thought it was this evening. And so I'm working with Natalia and we're communicating. And all of a sudden I'm going, wait a minute, it's 10 o'clock this morning, California time, 7 o'clock their time. So we're scrambling here. I will be making today's lesson on point, okay? Because as soon as this is over, I'm going to Spain. Despite the horrors of the pandemic and everything, I love how our community has stepped up to the plate and we're, communicating. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I would not be going to Spain. I know people would kill for that opportunity, but I can't. Forget COVID, forget all of that. At this position in my life with my mom and everything, I can't leave the country. But now I get to go to Spain. So I'm very excited. I'll see you ladies and gentlemen in a little bit. So anyways, somebody asked John, what does my setup look like? My palatial studio that I'm sharing with you. So this is the setup right here. We have, you can see the new document camera on top. I keep going on and on about it. If you guys do live presentations, it's called In Swan, and believe it's just for Macs, Apples. And you can see up, they have the UFO unfinished filing and organization. Actually, that little piece up there is something I did in Rosalie Dace's class, and I want to add some more to it after seeing Sujata's show. So I would really recommend, if you haven't seen that show yet, go see it, because she brings the culture of India with her. And then I'm going to do little more squares on it and all that. So, and right now the cat isn't there. I don't know where she is, but certainly she's home. So before we get going on today's lesson, and it's kind of a riff on what we did on Monday, I want to take a look at some of what you guys are doing. I went into the forum, and there I found basket blocks are being uploaded. More people are not using kits than using kits, so it's very interesting, your color choices, etc. So let's take a look at Roxanne's. She is using oak shots, okay? And I believe she said that they shrink a little bit, but they didn't run. So if you get oak shots from us, and they are glorious, and what that means in an oak shot is that one thread is one color, another thread's another color, and it's expensive. I'm not gonna say a little more. It's expensive, but man, it is beautiful, beautiful fiber. So that I first saw her first one and I went, oh, and then I found another area where there were a ton of you guys. So thank you for uploading. I do feel like we're a guild. I really do. It makes me very, very happy. And speaking of guilds, don't bail on them. Just because you can't have in meetings, don't bail on them. They need your support. And as I've mentioned in the past, I'm going to Spain in a half hour. There's just so much out there that we can do now because of technology. So look at Carlene. She got ahead. Look at you, Miss Carlene. Next week, I will tell you we're going to be handling the baskets with the handles, and we're getting a PDF prepared for that and all of that. I want to show you something, or say something about Carlene's. Note how some of her baskets have dark backgrounds. I really recommend you do that. When I'm doing something that's kind of a sampler like this, or I don't want to say messy, but a lot of different blocks, I like to reverse, so some have dark backgrounds, and it makes it so the quilt doesn't go flat. If it stays all light backgrounds, sometimes quilts can go flat. Now, this is not always. I have plenty of quilts that have all light backgrounds, but just consider it. Now, Margot was saying that she was having a hard time switching the colors in her brain, and I know exactly what you're talking about, Margot. And if that's the case, I would take something like this and mark the heck out of it, marking what's dark and what's light. And obviously here it would be opposite of what's going on here. But you could even trace through, go take this up to the window. Yeah, I like this idea. I'm just making it up right now. Trace through the back side and then go ahead and color it in and mark your units. And then it'll be easy, but I know exactly what you're saying. She made some crack about her dyslexic brain. Well, I have a dyslexic brain for real, and I share that with you. I don't know if that's true or not, Margot, but whatever you can do to simplify the process is what I beg of you to do. Okay, Miss Maven, what does she have going on? Oh, look at that. And look, okay, I love your little blocks. They are adorable, and to me, they have a very vintage look going on. But I'm also so thrilled to see her 2 irons. Think of all of the unloved antique irons that are out there. And guess what, guys? We are snapping them up. And I think you can find them for about 20 to 30 bucks in antique stores. I wouldn't want to get one shipped to me because I think the weight of shipping it would cost way more. So the other thing, Miss Maven, like with this, when you start making a bunch of blocks, do consider reversing some dark backgrounds and light bellies. You'll just be amazed at what it does. Okay, La Hoifer. Here are I believe she said, again, I set this up this morning and then realized how much trouble I was in with my trip to Spain in 25 minutes. She's just going to do basically blue baskets for the most part, and then just do what she wants in the other part. And I'm not sure if that's my circle background fabric, but I did design one like that. And even if it's not, I love that print so much. Okay, here's Sue. Look how elegant this is, you guys. Just this black and this gray. I just think it's gorgeous. It's handsome. That's what I want to say. It's very, very handsome. Love it, Sue. Okay, Ms. Jane, what you got going on there? Okay, this is important, all right? Ms. Jane, I'm going to call you Jane if that's okay, is working on a design wall of sorts. And you can see that she has got 6-inch and 8-inch baskets. And then she's using 2-inch half square triangles to kind of fill in the grid. When we put our stuff together, this is basically how we're going to attack it, you guys. And not only are you going to have to worry about the balance of light and dark and light backgrounds, but also you're going to think about the way your baskets are turned. This is why I've called this whole thing a jigsaw puzzle. And John just walked in. My bongs are turned down my thing. Okay. My producer just came in and said my bongs are too loud. And then Helen, these are not our baskets, but I don't care. I love this. Look, she's got Halloween jam going on right now. And I love how you stuck the star in. And I believe, Helen, you worked this out on your computer program before, because I think when I scrolled down, I saw where you had played with it with your software. So there are a ton of baskets out there, and all you have to consider for this quilt is that they are divisible by 2. So mine are 6-inch, 8-inch, and 12-inch. And then I have some half square triangles that finish at 2 inches, and some pinwheels that finish at 4 inches. You guys have been asking me, Cheryl, it bothers me that the baskets are on their sides. I would lose my marbles. That's what happened to me. So you guys have been asking about what I have going on in here. And let me just tell you what I've got, and you can go back and watch this again if you like. I've got 18 6-inch baskets. I have 4 8-inch baskets, and I have 3 12-inch baskets, and I have 11 pinwheels. The key is to start gridding out, getting it up on the design wall, and then seeing what you need more of and what you need to add, all right? So again, this is mine. It does not have to be yours, but I was asked enough that right before the Spain debacle started happening, I was putting Post-it notes up and trying to figure out what's going on. And this is what I came up with. You can come back and get a screen grab if you want. You like my 3? Right? So, what are we doing today? What are we doing today? I'll tell you what we're doing today. We are, where'd my little book go? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Sorry, guys. We are doing basket D. This is not basket D right here. This is basket D. We are doing basket D. That is on page 23. It's number 11. All right. Now, basket D is very, very similar to what we did on Monday. Let's take a look at what we did on Monday. On Monday, we did this, only here was sewn. These were half square triangles, okay? In here, they're flying geese. And why not just always do half square triangles? Who cares? Why not? Well, I care when I start working with fabrics like this, that if I cut it up, something funky is going to happen in here. So that's when I would do it. The other thing I want to say, which is really cool, is that this basket D is also kind of the same dimensions as the basket G, which is here, which means, and not kind of, they are the same dimensions. You can take this basket, and then in this part here, you could put this in. So there's a lot of mix and matching that you can do. And in fact, when we do the handles on baskets next week, we are going to be doing some mixing and matching. And again, if you've got other baskets from other books, put them in. So in your book, it's going to tell you for B, which is this background, to cut 1 square at 3 7/8. No, wait, at 4 1/4. B, yeah, 1 square at 4 1/4, 4 1/4, and then cut it corner to corner. Don't cut it corner to corner. Don't. And then it's going to have you take 2 squares, but you're really going to need 4 squares. Mark this in your book at 2 3/8. Do not cut them corner to corner. The way I'm going to show you is going to reap you 4 of these. So you're going to have extras that you can hang on to later, but it's going to reap you 4, but you're going to need to make the 4 to have the whole process work. I hope that makes sense. All right, so here I have pre-cut this, and we decided this is 4 1/4. Boy, I'm going to make sure, because I am rattled enough that, yep, 4 1/4. Do not cut it like this. Stop. And if you were in my cave class, you know where I'm going with this. And then these, you're going to cut 4 squares, even though it says 2, you're going to cut 4 squares at 2 3/8. You're going to cut the true size. Now, what you can do here is, if you don't have this grid that I know a lot of you have purchased, and we're still waiting, the orange ones are in transit. The teal ones, we don't know what's going on with those. You can mark it down the center and then put it here. And I'll do another one down here with a line. Let's draw another line. I'm going to show you how to use the mat here. This is where I'm getting at. And then I would sew 1/4 of an inch on this side and 1/4 of an inch on that side. So let's erase these markings with the friction. Friction. There. I just love how you can just go and iron it and it goes away. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my glue stick. I'm going to glue this down so it doesn't shift. Glue this down. This one. And this one. All right. Let me move my camera over to my sewing machine. Let's see. Get this all down here. I think we're almost there. I try to keep you guys from not getting seasick, which is what I'm going to do right now. All right, I'm going to sharpen it up. All right. Now, instead of drawing the lines, I'm going to essentially do what we did with our half square triangles. I'm going to put the presser foot right here's the my 1/4 inch presser foot, and I have it right at the tippy top of this square right there. Okay, and then I can't see down here. I can't see, it's too big, but now I know what these 45-degree lines are for. See this here? I'm running parallel to it. So until I can see what's going on down here, until I can get to this right here, where this tip is ultimately going to stay, I'm going to look on here. I figured that one out yesterday. I am learning so much with this, you guys. So I'm watching that line. Now there we go, right there. And I'm watching it follow right up here. I'm not even looking up here. I'm down here. All right. And I love how it doesn't slip because of the glue. It's a Quilter's Select fabric glue stick. If you choose to buy it from us, I would get the little pack of refills that go with it too. It comes with one refill, but you might want another. Okay, then this is right here. Okay. This mat is just getting better and better. Now, there are mats out there that have all these markings on it, okay? Some of you have them, and you've written to me about that. They work just fine. The difference is they don't have this slidiness for when you go to do your machine quilting on your domestic. That's the real difference, okay? Heck, in the olden days, I used to mark it with tape. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to press, because see how there's a little ripple in there. I don't like that. And then I'm going to cut corner to corner. Right? Fortunately, my rotary cutter is here. My ruler is here. And there's no squaring up on this one. You're going to cut it as it's supposed to be. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to press this like this from the top side, and then that way it's going to look like a heart. That's what you're going to want. I'm going to do both of them, because here's the other thing. You could make, you can make 4 of these, only use 2 in this block, but you might use 2 in another block, right? So here we go. I mean, wouldn't it be a shame to cut that up? Seriously. Do a little there and a little, I was thinking this morning, a little dab will do you. What was that? Was that dippity-doo? Oh my gosh. Now see, this one is short enough that I can see that this is down here perfectly, and I will line my ruler up like that. All right. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start up here at the tippy top corner. And this one down here. We have a lot of really great things going on at TQS. at thequiltshow.com. And more learning for you, all sorts of good stuff. You just got to kind of stand by. And then I could do it again on this, and I've got 2 extra flying geese. But now I'm going to go cut it. Yay. Well, in fact, let's get back up over to this one here. Okay. That was John's idea, by the way, to move the camera off of this. See, to me, the thing that just gets me the most is the way it focuses in. I just love that. All right. So I've just cut it corner to corner, and then I'm going to press like this, right side up. Sometimes before I put the little iron on, I'll cheat. And I'll do a bunch of them. Like I'll stack them up. I don't have to be careful with the ironing because at this point all the biases are sewn up. So yay on that, right? Okay. And then here. So if I had pieced that like here, this would have been screwed up. For lack of better words. So look how pretty that is. Absolutely love it. I could also see incorporating flying geese into your quilt also, because the measurements are right. They are, I think. Oh, wait, no, they're 3. Never mind. I would not. Maybe, no, just use them for your blocks. Sorry I said that. Okay, so that is what you can do. And you can certainly start making other size blocks because I gave you the measurements right here. Please, though, start laying it out, all right? Are you supposed to put that iron on the cutting mat? I didn't. I don't think I did. I don't. I think I put it down here. Yeah, I would not put this iron on a cutting mat. These mats, all rotary mats will warp. And even if you have something like this, these woolly mats, we're actually developing something that Quilters Select I think you're really going to like. But if you have one of these woolly mats, don't even put this on your cutting mat because it will warp the mat. I mean, you know, they can withstand some heat. Got to get ready for my trip to Spain. I wonder if my passport's in gear. So this is a great technique for flying geese. Yes, it is. And there's a bunch of different ways to do them. But I love, this blue mat, I would not put my iron on this blue mat. Heck no. I hope I didn't just do, this iron? No. Yeah, this blue cutting mat is a cutting mat, and I would never iron on it. It will warp it, I guarantee you. So today I'll be cutting it a little bit short. What I'm going to be on Friday, I am going to show you how to block a quilt. And I said I was going to do it on my living room floor, my Persian carpet. And then editor Ann in Canada wanted to know why I'm not using the wall behind me. I may use the wall behind me because it does have the grids and all that. The thing that my Persian carpet has are kind of borders too. The reason I would maybe not do it on there is because I don't like the product that's underneath it. And it's Celotex. You can't even get it anymore. It's very difficult to pin into, but I did just order a new box of T-pins and hopefully they'll be sharp enough to go in because, yeah, I'd rather do it here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my quilt and say a little prayer, and then I will block it out, all right? Then next week we're going to do baskets with handles, and then we're going to talk about how to put the whole thing together and then potential borders. I have my border done. I'm just not putting it up yet. I'm being a brat. So I air Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it's at 10 o'clock in the morning. When I post what I'm going to be doing and you guys share, that makes me really happy because here we are with a global opportunity. Seriously, a global opportunity. And I know I've had people from Vietnam on here. I've had South America. I've had Israel. I've had people all over. We are connecting globally. And so with that, I'm going to say have a great day. And John's got my suitcase packed and my passport. And you know what my superpower would be? And it's happening right now. My superpower, I don't want x-ray vision. I really don't want to see that. It would be time travel. It would be if I could go like this, like Samantha on Bewitched, and end up in another place without having to get on an airplane. So I'm just about going to go time travel right now. So thanks you guys for hanging out today, and yay, off to go. Hola, right? Hola, ¿cómo está? That's about all I know. Bye-bye.